Hey guys, welcome to the Reel-ists podcast. This is our first Road to the Oscars episode where we're going to talk about the film The Shape of Water. We're going to talk about what makes this film so unique and why it deserves to be a Best Picture nominee. This is episode 12 of the Reel-ists podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the Reel-ists podcast. I'm Donnie.
And I'm Oscar.
Oscar wasn't ready for that. Let's try it again because he was on his phone. He wasn't ready.
I thought for a second, we were doing another part. Never mind. I'm here. I'm Oscar.
Okay. And we have our producer, Ruben.
I'm
here.
Oscar.
Oscar's here. Ruben. I said, and we have our producer, Ruben.
Hi.
Are you guys on a break today or what?
You didn't give him a nickname in the last episode or this
I said
episode.
Ruby last time.
Oh, did you last one? So what's this one?
This one is what haven't I called you? I called you Rhubarb, the Rubinator, Ruby, Roopster.
You're running out. You're gonna have to start thinking.
I mean, that was like the first one I gave him. So, but yeah, Roopster. Yeah. I'll have a new one for you guys next week. Stay tuned. So this is the Reel-ists podcast where we
Well, we can do what, Donnie? Wait, what exactly is that?
Well, what I was going to say is where we review films and consider how certain scenes or aspects tie into real life. But it came out as blah. So
Hashtag blah.
Hashtag blah. Just wanted to go over a couple of things with our listeners, our followers. We wanted to say thank you guys so much for listening and supporting us and liking us. Wanted to reiterate that you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Team Reel-ists. That's Team Reel-ists. Remember to subscribe and to share with your friends, your family, just anyone you know. Please tell them about Team Reel-ists, the Reel-ists podcast. We would surely appreciate it. Wanted to also reiterate that we have new episodes every Thursday.
That's right.
So we try to put out new content every single week. So we usually put it up on Thursdays. So always be looking for that on Thursdays. One more time, Thursdays.
Thursdays.
Miércoles. Is that how you say it?
That's Wednesday.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay.
You just cursed. Oh,
Jueves.
This is just failing. This is all.
This is going on.
I just want to say, everyone that listens to our podcast, definitely just spread the word. As Donnie says, we want more people to listen to us. Just share. Just say,
whoa.
Hey. I said share.
It doesn't sound like that.
I didn't say it the way you said it. You just said it.
This isn't the blame game, okay?
Let's
not point the finger.
This is about to be. We're not even going to talk about the movie. Let's just ignore it.
I know. Speaking of the movie, we have a very special movie to talk about today. This is one of my favorite movies of 2017.
You about to say 2018.
And it's The Shape of Water. The reason we're laughing is because, I'm not going to say why we're laughing. This story would take too long. But let's just get into The Shape of Water.
Okay.
Oscar. It was an amazing film. You don't even need to say anything. I don't even want to hear your thoughts on it. I'll just take this one.
All right. I'll sit back. I'll go back to my phone. No, but I mean, I like the movie. For sure. I mean, I think I put it in my top 10. Does anyone keep track of what we have? Did I put it in my top 10?
Ruben.
I'm not sure.
We've given Ruben so many little tasks to do already. Poor guy.
But I really liked the film. I really thought it was a unique a unique take on just something, a romantic story. This isn't a typical, two people from different worlds. Well, it is. But I meant like human beings, kind of like, he's from East Coast and she's from West Coast, Romeo and Juliet, those kinds of romantic stories, completely different. Ideally should not really be together because, they're just, try to get a cat and a dog to be lovers. It's just a thing that you don't expect. So I really loved that unique take and how he was really willing to go into this world. I really wanted to know more about Amphibian Man. We didn't get much. It was really kind of left open.
Yeah.
Like, is there a world of him? Is he the last one? I think they just caught him in like South America. So,
yeah,
I wanted to explore more of him. I think that's my biggest thing. The romance is great and all, and her character for Eliza, it's very interesting. But I feel like there are just some things I wanted that weren't in the movie.
Right. Okay, so let me just read a quick synopsis before you say more. Eliza is a mute, isolated woman who works as a cleaning lady in a hidden high-security government laboratory in 1962 Baltimore. Her life changes forever when she discovers the lab's classified secret, a mysterious, scaled creature from South America that lives in a water tank. As Eliza develops a unique bond with her new friend... I'm sorry, I'm laughing because the synopsis I was reading, it has like ... to continue, and I wasn't ready for it.
Not prepared, Donnie? What's going on?
I really wasn't. I'm so sorry. Well, I think you got enough from that synopsis, right? So basically, there's a woman.
That was the whole movie, guys.
We're just gonna wing this one. No, so Eliza, she's a mute. It's 1962. She works in a government lab. They bring in this water tank with this creature in it called what's it called? Amphibian Man. And basically, Eliza develops this relationship with Amphibian Man, starts teaching him sign language, and they start bonding over music and different things. She brings him snacks to eat, and that kind of thing. And this relationship just starts to develop, and it develops and blossoms into eventually a romantic relationship.
Yeah, it went there in the movie.
It definitely went there. Yeah. Okay. So just overall, my initial thoughts of this film when I first saw it, like when we were walking out of the theater, I was like, wow, what did we just watch? Like that was crazy. Which, I mean, in a good way though. Like it wasn't like, what the hell did we just watch? It wasn't like that. It was for me. It wasn't.
Because just given the director's style, if you look at his previous movies, you get a sense of how he, tells his stories.
Right.
So that aspect of, that I did walk away with. What did we watch in the manner of they really became like lovers? That kind of threw me off. I didn't expect that kind, but the unique storytelling that I was not surprised by.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. It's one of those that I look back on and I don't see myself watching repetitively in that like manner. I don't see myself seeing this like, once a year. Maybe like every blue moon when, it just needs a good time to do a love story. I think I might find myself watching it, but I like it. I really do like it. I know when we talked about it, like it made it sound like I was a little bit more on the negative side. I don't have negativity towards it or any kind of bad thoughts about it. I just have more of like what I would have wanted, and that's just personal. So I know I can't blame a movie for not listening to my thoughts when I wasn't working on the film.
Right. But I get what you're saying, because they like you said, they didn't really dive too much into the like history of the Amphibian Man. We just know that they caught him in the waters of South America and they brought him here to be studied.
Is he related to the creature of the Black Lagoon?
Right. Was that his like great uncle, his great grandfather? But as I think about that, I'm okay that they didn't give me as much information as people may have wanted, because I feel like it definitely it kind of leaves your imagination going too. And I feel like one reason they might not have dived so deep into his backstory was because maybe it was kind of irrelevant, because wherever he came from, it doesn't matter, because we know he's non-earthly, or like they call him like a god, or he was worshipped as a god, so we know he's not human. He has some human aspects to him, human characteristics, like he can sign, and has some levels of like higher intelligence than like your average like four-legged animal. So like he can communicate with people, he can stand on two legs, that kind of thing. But I guess it just was kind of irrelevant where he came from, because like you said, it was basically like a love story, a unique love story, but it was about two beings, kind of falling in love, and
which is fine. You can't really compare it to. That's the tricky part, is that you can't really say, this was a typical romance story, because it's different, and I love that. I love that this is just completely taking something that, you would not take naturally. I'm sure like if we knew Eliza, I think both of us would have like our like, that's not a human.
Right.
Let's not.
I feel like you can only get away with that in like a movie,
right? Exactly.
Like you can only like something that bizarre and crazy and like unorthodox. Like you can only get away with that in a movie. Because yes, if like our friend was doing that, and she was like, there's this sea creature, but I'm in love with him, and I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly.
Like, honestly, I probably
We'd be more
Most
like
of us
Michael Shannon's character.
or at least I'd be concerned because I'm like, what if he like, I don't know,
Takes
turns
you
on
underwater.
you, like turns on, like dogs that like
turning
on.
into a horror movie.
I know. But yeah, what'd you say about Michael Shannon?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like we'd be more like his character in that sense of like, we're going to use, we need to know more about him. We need to research. We need to find out. And I mean, I think that's how I would approach it. Which is why I would want more of his story. I mean, if she can sign language with him, I feel like she should have asked questions. She should have used that advantage. It sucks that Michael Shannon never really kind of allowed that opportunity. He was just like, they took it, give it back. No, I don't want any, nonsense. I want it back in the lab.
Yeah, and it's, man, so, all right, Michael, I just want to talk about Michael Shannon's character. He was like the Colonel, and he was really good. I really like Michael Shannon as an actor, but he was really good
Colonel
in the film.
Richard Strickland.
Colonel Richard Strickland.
Yeah.
He was he definitely had that, like, kind of cocky, like, we're going to do things my way. And that's just how we're gonna do it, and like had no
1960s behavior.
it had no remorse for Amphibian Man, like no sympathy, no, like
he's a creature.
He just looked at him as like a creature, not as where Eliza, and even one the good scientist who was working with the Russians as well, but like he wanted to study him and learn from him, and he was like all about like trying to keep him safe and But Colonel, he was like, he was torturing him and just being terrible. It was hard to watch, especially that one scene when he was kind of sticking him with that electric stick device and shocking him, and he was like, I can't tell if you're crying or screaming. Whatever he was, I can't tell if you're begging me to stop or if you're angry.
Either.
Which you couldn't. Like he wasn't wrong, but I was like, that's when I say like just zero sympathy, zero mercy for him. Just viewed him as a thing like that. That was it was hard to watch. That part was hard to watch.
I mean, I definitely understand his villain approach for this movie because it really shows like when you something like that, it's just a lot of people are really opposites. A lot of people see it as one way, the others see it as the opposite. It's crazy how that, a creature like that, someone like we're in charge. Others are like, what do we have in common? So, and I think that's what the scientist and Eliza really were approaching more.
Yeah.
I mean, Eliza just felt like she found someone that she can not even vent to, but like really just express her thoughts of. And the thing is, she's not alone. She has her friend that Octavia Spencer plays, Zelda,
Mm-hmm.
and then she has the
Giles.
What was it? What was Giles? Yeah, what was Giles? It was like just a roommate, kind of.
He was just I think the tenant next door.
Okay, yeah,
but like he was a really good friend. They had a really strong friendship. It seemed like
right, and like so it was just that relationship that So she wasn't alone. So it wasn't that she needed a friend. It was just more of like, this is an opportunity for her to not, or she says it too when she's saying like, the creature doesn't see the flaws that she has. Yeah. And
I think too, she just saw, I think what you said was right. I think a little bit she like sees herself in him too a little bit. Cause it's like he's, like they're both on the kind of the same page, like society views them one way.
Right.
So it's like they can bond over that. Which I said this in the last podcast, like they all kind of can bond over that because her best friend Zelda was black, and this was 1962, and there was still racial tensions and segregation and that kind of stuff going on. The tenant Giles, he was gay, and I don't know, he wasn't like out, was he? Or was he kind of like?
It was like if you knew him, you knew.
Yeah,
but he wasn't like.
But he wasn't super out, and he couldn't be because back then you couldn't really be, I guess. And then, and Eliza was mute, so people, viewed her as broken, and then Amphibian Man comes along, and he's this creature that's not even human, so, I feel like they're all bonded, because of their indifferences or their, quote-unquote brokenness or things that don't make them like everybody else is what they all bonded over, but, ultimately they all bonded over that, but Eliza bonded with Amphibian Man in a different way, and
it grew to a different way.
Developed into something more than just a friendship. Yeah.
And I mean, it's still, there were some things that, yes, weren't necessarily thought out in that manner of like, I think one of the biggest one, as we said, the Amphibian Man's backstory. Another thing is, you know, how did the friends really feel? Like, the friends were supportive of Eliza, but we didn't really get to see like how they felt with the creature. It was kind of just like, you know, when someone just brings someone new to their lives, it's like, oh, this is my new boo.
And because it's your friend, you're just like, okay, like whatever you think, you're just gonna accept it and be like, okay.
We get their expressions toward that, and there was, you know, that's something that you just don't be like, all right, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I'll just continue doing, you know. It was fine when they didn't know. Until when they found out, I felt like that should have changed, but I felt like it still stayed the same, which is fine. They're being supportive to Eliza, but you just can't help it. You have to have your own thoughts about that, and I would have loved to have seen what their thoughts were. It was just more of like, I don't understand it, and I think that's okay. That's like the approach that they took, or at least Guillermo del Toro took, was that like people that sometimes don't understand, but they can see love.
Right.
That's what they kind of go with.
And I think that, I feel like that's what just made this film so liked by so many people. Like I said, only in a movie can you have like a creature and a human being like form this relationship and it be okay, you know, and people are kind of like rooting for it to prosper. And I feel like it kind of,
I mean, to some extent,
most viewers were like, you know, kind of, I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I was happy like to see that it was weird, you know, it was a little different, but you know, at the end of the day, they were in love, and it's like, oh, that was great. And I love that, like, her friend, you know, Zelda and Giles, like, when they were trying to rescue him, or when she wanted to rescue him, and you know, she had to convince Giles a little bit, but you know, Zelda was on board, you know, or she had to convince both of them a little bit, I guess, but they were on board. Like, they were good friends. They were like, okay, we got your back. We're gonna help you get your man, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So that was like awesome. I was like so happy to see that.
And I'm again, given that it's Guillermo del Toro, you just know the visuals, the cinematography is just gonna be beautiful,
stunning.
And I remember that opening. Like that opening where like the house is all in water, and you know, you're really just
it was like
finding out what's going on, and then it just turns out that's the opening setting, and it's kind of
just puts you in a like dream, like that's like it just was like that movie was like a looking at a dream.
You know, I could totally see that as a dream that you would be like telling me.
Really?
Like, so I had this dream, Oscar. That was like he was like an amphibian man.
I do have some pretty vivid dreams. I don't know why.
I've always been why, like that. But I just was in love.
We were floating in water, and yeah, dude, I could see myself having that dream.
I could totally. So yeah, that's actually a very good point. That it's very dreamlike, and I think that helps you accept it when the surrounding area. I mean, the time period, it's not current, so maybe there might be same implications that it would be now. Because now it would be, you can't hide that. I doubt you can hide that amphibian man in your house in today's settings. Like
without, I mean,
someone's gonna
your
be
little
knocking.
cousin coming in there and then taking a picture and posting it to her Twitter account, and then it goes viral or something like that. It's so hard to
I don't think So I get that. So that helps as well as the dreamlike state. Those were just beautiful images.
They were, which brings me to the point. Like I feel like what makes this movie not like Best Picture worthy? Like, why do we think this movie was nominated for Best Picture? I think that had a lot to do with it. Obviously, the visuals, it was visually stunning. I really was super into like the set, the design, the score. I loved, and I mentioned that in that our top 10 podcast. It was just like the whole thing just tied was this romantic kind of. I even got like this like Parisian vibe. Like I felt like they would like it could be like in Paris, France, somewhere. Like, I don't know. It was just super, super romantic. And that's just that's just the vibes I got. Obviously, that's not the whole movie. Like, it's not like, oh, this is one big romantic movie. But like, it definitely had those aspects to it throughout the film. Acting was great.
Yes.
Performances were
top. Yeah.
So good.
Well, I mean, the amphibian man maybe was a little static because he could probably, he didn't really.
He could only do so much, right?
It's probably like
even though he like moved, I mean, he moved really well. Like he moved creature-like yet human-like. I mean, I was getting both.
I see it. Yeah. I get it. You know, it wasn't a person. It was like a suit and all that kind of CGI.
It was a beautiful like suit, like or you know, costume. Like it was really like that, just really like beautiful blue. I don't know. It was cool. It was like, it wasn't, you know, some monsters. It's like, oh, it's kind of hard. It's hard to look at or hard to stomach or whatever. That kind of look ugly or really, really just bad. But like this, I don't want to call him a monster. He was an amphibian man, but this amphibian man, this creature, like he wasn't hard to look at, you know, like visually, I thought they did really good. The design of the if it was a mask, you know, and all the prosthetics and the whole suit in general, I thought it was really nice.
I wonder what other monsters live in this world. This is like something else. Is like, if there's an amphibian man,
what else could there be?
Right.
It's a good point. I never thought about that.
What else?
Does he have a family?
Right.
Is there a whole clan of?
Is there the amphibians? Is there like a werewolf-like kind of creature too? I
don't know about all that, but
why not?
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
Werewolves can't be romantic now?
Didn't they do that in like Twilight? Didn't we do that before?
That's vampires that were.
Were there not werewolves in that movie though?
Yeah, that's true. But they can transform. I'm thinking.
Okay, we'll do. If you wanted to do a Twilight review on another episode, then we
episode 13 is gonna be Twilight spoilers. No, yes, but I think I agree with you. The amphibian man. Wow, yes, it didn't do anything that could have done a delivery performance acting wise, given its limitations.
Yeah.
The actual actors that were, you know, portraying characters really did step it up. They really did perform. Mm-hmm. I believed all of them. I really felt like we were in the 1960s, even though it was dreamlike. I did believe the setting. I didn't feel for once like, you know, I felt like this movie could have been filmed in that time, and of course, you know, ignoring the technical side of it, but yes, I feel like it could have existed in that time.
Yeah, no.
Just put a black and white like film filter.
You would totally think it was done in like the 60s, right?
Yeah. Well,
they had color movies, I think.
Well, no, but I'm saying like it gives.
Right, I don't know.
It gives that feel like, you know, it doesn't treat it like a typical modern movie, and it definitely does its respects to that dreamlike classic romantic films. Because I'm thinking like those kinds of things. Like I'm also saying like Casablanca, or those ones that were black and white, that I could see The Shape of Water fitting in with those in that sense. Creature of Black Lagoon being a black and white, like those, it feels like it would fit in. I don't feel like it. I feel like that's what makes it timeless. It's early right now, so yes, it's fresh, but like Pan's Labyrinth, I don't think years later is going to do its harm. I think it's just going to make it more beautiful as an art, as a film. So
totally agree.
I definitely, for my reasons that I think I can see it winning Best Pictures, are mainly due to those cinematography, visuals, and all that the director was able to bring. I wouldn't necessarily say the story is the strongest for this movie.
Yeah,
it's well done, but it's not the strongest. The performances as an ensemble, it definitely helped the movie.
Right.
I don't think there's an individual performance that stood out. Like they all kind of, in a sense, like held hands making this movie.
Yeah, like it was a collaborative teamwork effort
right.
with the actors. I totally agree. They were all so good. I feel like they all worked together and like kind of bounced off each other, and it was just great.
Yeah, and really again, good. The Amphibian Man, that definitely took a lot of time and effort to make as realistic as possible, and they did a great job. So, yes, despite my wanting of more information on the Amphibian Man, I wanted more. The way the movie ended, it gives you in that like happily ever after state. Mm-hmm. That's not good enough for me. I need a definitive.
Well, so we kind of don't like what happened after. I mean, they went into the water.
They just float, like, well, not float. They just lived like she becomes amphibian girl.
Do you think that's what happened? Because it didn't really say, right?
They don't. I mean, it's like they get away together.
They go away together.
Yeah.
So, and then all my technical questions like, oh, so does she have gills now? Can she breathe underwater?
Which is,
but I mean, like she was kind of. I mean, there are scenes where they both were underwater and she was fine.
Exactly.
So I guess
because of him. Right.
Because I guess he allows her to breathe underwater with him.
I mean, I just want to know when the love fades. Are they still together? Is it going to be like
The love won't fade, Oscar. The love is eternity for
is
eternity.
Is going to be just like starting to do those, stereotypical male behavior? Honey, where's my dinner? Like, this is 1960s, so...
Don't ruin the film. Jeez.
I didn't like the way... I don't like the happily ever after. I kind of want to know where
I love the happily ever after.
Because where are they going to go? This is,
They can go wherever they want because they're in love and they can do anything. You can do anything when you're in love.
Saltwater creatures?
He's saltwater. And
so they can't go anywhere.
It has to be saltwater place. Well, okay. Don't just... I get what you're saying. I'm
saying that is... I could see that coming off as a negative side of it, but it's not for the film. It's just... I want more, and I felt like
you always want more.
Well, that's what a movie should do. It should make you want more.
Is it ever going to be enough?
No, because you don't want the world. This is your time to escape to a different world.
I feel like too much information though, too much can like do a disservice to the film.
I get it. Yes,
there has to be some aspect of like fairy tale, like let your imagination fill in the blanks and. Allow me to think that they're going to live happily ever after. That's what I want from a film. Not all the time, but generally I am more of like, you
just like
I just like to believe that they're together in love somewhere. And,
I get it. I get the fairy tale, kind of ending to it. A lot of the classic fairy tales do have that open-endedness and, you can leave it as you want,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, like, if there was to be more,
I wonder if she could get pregnant.
Oh, now see, you got questions.
That's
the thing though. It's not. I want more. Make a sequel. It's just. You
want more. Like you want some closure. Like you want to see where they're at.
Well, I want to sit down with the writers or Guillermo del Toro, whoever really came up with this to kind of really go further.
Okay.
Not that we have him here. Cool. So speaking of which, we have our guest.
We have a very special guest, guys. Like we said, this is a special episode.
Director of... We should probably tweet him and be like, can you come special host, guest star in this episode that we just filmed?
If he did, that would be insane.
That'd be cool.
I don't think I'd be able to like
any of them. Anyone that did any involvement in the Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the title, I still don't understand it.
The Shape of Water.
There is no shape. There is no love limit. Is that what the
Maybe the Shape of Water is code for the shape of love, and love has no shapes.
That's what I just said.
Did you just say that?
I didn't say those words. I just said so. It's the Shape of Water, the code for shape of
love. Who
love.
knows? And maybe we're right. Maybe we're completely wrong. I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it. Like I know you had mentioned that too. Like what is the Shape of Water? I guess I never really gave it any thought. I always thought the title was cool.
I didn't go in thinking like I'm gonna get a scientific explanation too.
Right. I mean,
water's a liquid state that
made of 2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom. So if you can get the shape of that, then which they're round, right?
That's true.
Okay, I think we're getting too into it. Favorite scene? What's your favorite scene from the film?
My favorite scene, I think, saving Amphibian Man, or officially like breaking him out
when they were hiding him in the laundry bin and bloating him in the van, and
exactly when they really were doing that, because you just were like, can Michael Shannon get them in time? Because he finds out and he starts like charging at him. But
yeah,
that was the most scene that I just had more investment in. I was like, oh, if they get caught, what happens? They're screwed. So I had a lot of thoughts running in that sequence. Speaking of, I just want to briefly talk about also Michael Shanahan's finger, the character's finger. That was
So they were severed. How did they get cut off again?
What happened? Oh, it bit it. It bit him.
Did it?
Yeah, the Amphibian Man bit.
Oh, so maybe that's why he was okay. So that makes sense why he was so like vengeful against him.
But this was like after a few acts. Like he was already like torturing it. So yeah, it was kind of like the Amphibian Man really just saying, I don't care about you.
So they tried to like sew them back, like the doctors tried to reattach them and see if they would take,
but it just got
they just got more infected, and they were apparently they smelled awful is what some of the what the characters in the film were saying, were pointing out.
It looked gross.
And then he finally just pulled them off.
Yep.
That was disgusting.
That was, yeah.
That was my least favorite part of the film when he pulled them off.
But memorable.
Yeah,
and that helps.
That's true. That is true.
That helps. And that was a great job. Whatever CGI
Ruben
or...
is shaking his head now.
I'm not watching this.
He's not going to watch it.
It's
We'll just
not-
tell you to close your eyes on that part. You have to watch this.
It's not going to really disturb you that much. It's just one of those, that's gross. In the same way that someone has to pop their shoulder back in place or something like that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something
Black
else.
Swan, when she takes off.
Like
Yeah.
like when she pulls her
I don't know.
her skin off her finger in Black Swan.
Yeah.
Black Swan. Sorry. Black Swan. I don't know what is wrong with me tonight. I can't talk.
It's all right. But
Okay.
yeah, that was my favorite scene, was the whole sequence of freeing Amphibian Man and taking him to Eliza's house.
Okay.
What was yours?
My favorite scene was when Eliza...
That's all the time we have.
Dang. No, my favorite scene was when Eliza was trying to get Giles to help her break him out. So when she was in her apartment and he was basically saying no, and then he was like trying to leave, go to somewhere, work or something, and she was like shoving him, and she was like signing to him, and she was like, repeat what I say, and then he was repeating everything she was saying, and she basically was saying, he can't speak, I can't speak, does that make me less human? Blah, blah, and just saying all these kind of insightful, wise things. And I think as Giles was saying what she was signing out loud, he was starting to like see her point and see that she was kind of right, which is why he ultimately decided to help her.
That's true.
And then she had
Very,
said,
very crucial moment for Giles' character, yeah.
Yeah, and then she had said something like if we do nothing, we are something like that. If we do nothing, then we are not human either, or something like that. But I just thought the whole scene was just really like powerful, and I was super into it. Yeah, beautifully done, beautifully acted by Sally Hawkins. She was amazing. So I think that brings us to our real scores for this film.
Oh, we're doing real scores.
Oh, are we not? Are we not doing real scores?
No, I thought
You were, because you
Yeah.
might as well. I thought we were just talking about why it should deserve to win, but sure.
Yeah,
I know
why
my
not?
score.
Let's do our real score. I'll go first because I already know what I'm gonna give
Well,
it.
you have to guess mine. You're 3 for 3.
Do you know what you'd give it?
Yeah, but you have to guess it.
Okay. I'm 3 for 3. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Wow. Really?
Really?
Yeah, that was actually my score.
I know you too well.
And I swear I can write it down and give it
Dang.
to
Yeah, I
Ruben.
know. I want to see.
I-
I believe that I'm getting them right.
We
Like,
should do that. We'll do that next
We'll do that on the next episode.
and then it's wrong. It was never right again. This is the last time.
No,
you
it
guessed
was
right.
4. It was a 4 out of 5. It's one that it's a really great story. It's one that I'm proud that I saw in theaters and really got to enjoy its full movie with on that big screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm so glad too that we got to see it in theaters. I feel like it would be a different experience if you watch it at home,
right
on TV or
even on your 75
or on
whatever
your
yeah,
iPad
it's
or
not
whatever.
Big enough. It's
Like,
not,
no,
yeah.
I think you just need to be immersed in the whole, in the sound and the
It
visuals.
helps. Yeah, for sure, it helps. The only thing the reason why I'm not giving it like a higher score than that is because there were some things that I felt was glossed over that the movie really, which is fine. And, movie has its own problems or has its own thing that doesn't answer. But yes, those are just those issues that I felt could have helped if it was addressed, not necessarily the backstories or anything like that, but just there was a lot of the surrounding questions that I had of like, how is she still, going to work all this out kind of things. And a lot of it was movie magic. So for that, I give it a 4, but what's your
Okay.
score?
What, you take a guess at what mine is. Let's turn the tables here.
That's not fair. I feel like I'm going to be wrong. I know you really enjoy it. You did give it a high score. I'm going to just go on a limb here and say you probably loved it a little bit more than I did. 4.5.
Ah, you got it.
Really?
Yeah, you did. 4 point. Swear to God, 4.5 out of 5 reels.
Right.
Yeah, I was debating if I wanted to give it 5 out of 5, but I not even just film related. I usually never give anything a perfect score.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't. Like, it's either 9 out of 10 or 4.5 out of 5. I just it could always be just a little bit different that would make it like
You're
absolutely
that
perfect.
teacher that's gonna be giving A minuses.
Well, that's why I'm not going to be a teacher.
You'd be like, that's an A minus. That was really good.
It was I wanted to give it an A plus, but I just couldn't, so I'll give it an A minus.
So bad.
Little Susie.
Breaking down these kids' hearts.
No, yes, I give it 4.5 out of 5 reels. I thought it was amazing, an amazing film. Visually, like we said, it was stunning. It was like watching a dream. The actors' performances were great as an ensemble. They just were great. I thought the storyline was really interesting, and ultimately, it was just a story of two beings falling in love. And like I said, I like to see beings fall in love. I like to see people fall in love, but this is what that film was. So. And like I said, the score was great. I love I love music, so I'm always just very paying attention to the score and the music that they choose to help illustrate the film, and it was just great. I loved it. Yeah. I kind of want to give it a 5 out of 5 now, but no, I'll stick with 4.5.
You just said no movie gets 5. Not even La La Land? Wow.
I know.
No, that's a different story.
Ruben, can you rewind and where he says no movie, I give
Oh
it
my
5.
God. Okay, well, La La Land will always get a 5 out of 5. If you want to bring up La La Land, we can turn this into a La La Land special.
Well, let me hand over the mic
And
to
let's
Ruben.
throw it to Ruben, because Ruben and I will talk all night about it,
don't
but
have time.
we don't have the time.
But I just want to say this movie is, if anything, is well deserved for being nominated, like on all across its nominations.
Yeah,
It's well. I honestly feel like it's not one that people are just saying to love because critics are saying it's love. Like I feel like if you watch it, you really do enjoy an appreciation of it. Mm-hmm. You might have your own opinions about a lot of the things of the film, but overall, you do enjoy it. You are satisfied. You're not walking away that you watched a movie that made no sense and was trying to just put a random thing together, or was trying to be weird kind of thing. It wasn't like that.
Right.
So I definitely feel like it deserves its nomination. So I'm happy it is nominated.
Yeah, I'm happy it's nominated
We'll
too.
see.
It's
It's the most nominated one. It has 13. So we'll see how many it wins. We'll see how many it takes home.
hopefully at least
How many
hopefully at least half. You
Half?
just
Yeah.
never know. You just never know.
We'll see how many trophies of me it takes.
All right.
I just wanted to
Calm
say
down.
that. I want to say that. For
I know
every
you
episode.
did.
I want to conclude on my episode and be like, how many trophies it takes of me. I give it 1.
You're so full of yourself. No, I'm just kidding. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember, this was our first Road to the Oscars episode. We're going to be doing a few more episodes like this over the next couple weeks. So we have 3 more episodes, I believe, that are going to be Road to the Oscar episodes, paired alongside with one of our normal episodes that we do.
A new release movie, yeah.
Of a new release movie, so be on the lookout for that. Remember, tune in on Thursdays, because that's when we release our new episodes. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Team Reel-ists. That's Team REELISTS. And please, if you can, share our podcast with.
We're everywhere now.
We're everywhere. We're on. All right, let me get my mind together. We are on Google Play.
Yes.
We're on Stitcher.
Yes.
We're on SoundCloud.
Yes.
We're on iTunes.
Yes.
We're on Spotify.
That's right.
And we're on
YouTube.
YouTube.
So close.
Well, Ruben kind of distracted me.
You look.
I know, I did look at you.
You forgot.
Well, you guys, and we also have our website.
Which is?
I don't know. Oscar, say it.
TheRealistPodcast.libsyn.com.
TheRealistPodcast.libsyn.com.
No dash.
No dash. TheRealistPodcast.libsyn.com. No dash. I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna get that tatted on my arm or something, so I never forget it. It's just it's so long.
We are 12 episodes in, and you don't know.
TheRealistPodcast.libsyn.com. I got it.
It was adorable 5 episodes ago, Dottie.
Was it?
Do your research now.
Hey, at least I got most of them, all right?
That's true. You just missed YouTube.
Wow. I swear.
But that was great. But thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks, guys.